year, back-to-back winning seasons in the league. Kelly Rae Finley announced to the Naismith watch list for Coach of the Year this week, one of 4 SEC coaches on that list. And what has been, Brittany, not just one of the best stories in the SEC, but in all of college basketball.
It really has been. Picked 11th, sitting at 3rd right now, tied in the SEC at 3rd position. And so it's been a fun season for this Florida program.
Broughton, who we highlighted in the open, seeing the start. No Jordan Merritt tonight, out due to coach's decision, as Smith had her shot swatted away by Sasha Goforth, promptly got tied up, and the ball spits towards Ramirez. Talked to Mike Neighbors in shoot-around. He said that he wants to put more length on Kiki Smith, so expect to see that lineup of Goforth and Smith to start. Starting lineup for Arkansas, Spencer, the freshman, got tied up, and Smith just rips it away. Amber Ramirez is the bulk of that production from 3 for Arkansas. They average 9 makes per game. Gators in the pink uniforms tonight. This is their play for K game. Dute off the spin, can't finish, but gets the stick back.
She can't finish, but you can see Florida early. They're looking to get the ball inside, I think, when they want to create a post presence early in this game.
Meanwhile, Spencer quickly in the shot clock. This is how they want to operate.
Yeah. Zippy Broughton fell down at half court, and I think that led to that open layup for Arkansas.
Spencer having that opening bucket, averaging 13.5 in league play, an outstanding freshman. Turned her ankle in the 4th quarter against Missouri. Not 100%, but seeing the start tonight, can't find that bucket. And Smith the rebound.
And for our viewers, they should be ready. Arkansas shoots the ball really quick in the shot clock. They do not like to run the shot clock down very often. They like to get high possessions every game. That's one of the reasons they average over 70 points, 76 points per game.
Well, it seems like both of these teams want to get about 80 possessions tonight, including Florida. A couple of quick triggers. Inside for Langerman, spinning layup doesn't go. Deontay the rebound. And the Gators again quickly want to push it center of the floor in transition. Smith attacks the rack. Good defense from Goforth, using that length again. Ramirez can spot up from the parking lot. Goforth got blocked. This will be on the floor on Deontay.
Speaking about Ramirez and the way that she can shoot from deep, Florida's put Nina Rickards on her. Nina Rickards has been a stopper. They have tried to put Nina on the opposing team's best players recently, and she's done such a good job defensively on them. She's not as worried about scoring as she picks up a foul, miscommunication, going back, almost giving up a layup, but they want her because she prides herself in her defense.
And this is what they do so well, as Ramirez gets free throws. Last 5 games, they've had at least 20 free throw attempts. They come in about 22 attempts per game. That's top 20 nationally.
Well, about 42% of their offense comes from the three-point line.
Yeah. This is how Arkansas plays. They want to get free throws, hit threes, and not turn the ball over.
Which kind of looks really interesting because they're known to shoot threes, but they also get to the foul line. So they're not just a three-point threat because they look to attack and get to the rim to get those free throw shots.
Here's Deontay. First start since January, early in the SEC season against Ole Miss. He's been a primary component off the bench. Gets the entry feed, good positioning. Able to squeeze it in.
And Manu for Florida, a great outing last time against Auburn. She had 9 points, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. So she's playing down low. She gets fouled. She finishes her shots at the line.
See how early in the shot clock Arkansas tries to hoist. Langerman traveled. They passed up a couple of open looks on that possession. You won't see that often. First it was Goforth had an open look, and that time Langerman decided to drive it to the rim and travel.
Rimdel for Florida doing a good job of playing a little cat and mouse on her. So she thought about her shot, she didn't want to take it, and then that resulted in a travel.
Rimdahl's checked in, Smith grinds inside, can't finish. That's how Smith wants to work tonight. Relentless guard, averaging 15 points per game. And also relentless on defense. Duke gets the interception. Smith in transit, Rimdahl got closed out. Now Smith will hoist and hit a three.
And the shot's not falling on the drive for Kiki Smith, so she says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot it from deep, Kyle. I have that three-point range. That's something that she's worked on in the offseason because she knows for the next level she's got to be able to shoot it from outside. And so she has done a good job of consistently hitting as of late.
Rebound for Florida. Rimdahl will push. Gators want to try and get Rimdahl going offensively. It's been a struggle over the last few games after she had a hot stretch in SEC play.
I was going to say, when you hit 5 threes in back-to-back games, people focus in on you defensively. So that sucks the defense out to her, which opens up drives to the basket for this Florida team. You want to drive on the side of Birdie Rimdahl. That's where you want to drive if you're Florida, because if they help off, you have a kick out for a 3. If they don't, you have an easier lane to the basket.
Meanwhile, Faith Dude picks up the foul. That's already her second. Now, Arkansas not a fairly big team, so
yeah.
The Gators will head to Floor Tonders here. And what's interesting and of note in the first 4 minutes or so is Arkansas has not attempted a 3 yet. Gators have taken all 3 trays in this game.
Florida wants to limit their three-point attempts because they are so proficient from the three-point line.
Wolfenbarger wanted a foul. Last touch, Tonders. Jersey Wolfenbarger is another one of those really great freshmen brought in from Mike Neighbors. You see Kelly Ray Finley's done an outstanding job, has brought this team to 19 wins, 9 in the league, as Wolfenbarger still doesn't get the whistle and throws it away. Smith now in transit. Rimdahl, open look. Cash.
And the fist pump after. That's become her kind of marquee thing. When she hits a 3, she does just a little fist pump afterwards. But Florida would like to get her back going offensively. And this is the type of game where she can get going against a team that likes to shoot quick, and you can push the ball in transition just like they did and get those open 3s for Rimdahl because the defense isn't back.
Meanwhile, Spencer on that prior bucket snapped an 8-0 Gator run. So far, Ramirez, no field goal attempts. Smith watching her. Wolfenbarger collapses inside. Minimal window to squeeze that one in.
That was a good finish by the freshman. You can see the athleticism, driving it from the wing and then finishing strong on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Kiki Smith, she hadn't got a call yet. She's missed some layups, but now she's continuing to drive and she gets the foul shot.
Well, both teams have some oxygen on that bench. It's back and forth. Meanwhile, the freshman Alberta Rimdahl trying to get her going. Good start for number 5. And bring back some of those transfer pieces, veteran transfer pieces. Do I want to make a commitment to the freshmen that come into this program and tell them they're going to see minutes? And that was his decision. He said, look, I'm not going to have a giant roster. We're going to have some people maybe leave Arkansas, but I want to make sure that I commit to my freshmen that are coming in, that they're going to come here and they're going to play for me.
And that's valuable. When you're being recruited, you want a coach that wants you there from your freshman year to your senior year, and that's why you commit to programs. But he's someone who's letting his freshmen get valuable minutes, so he expects to be very good in the next couple years because of the minutes and the game time play that they're getting. As you see a drive to the basket.
Good finish from Sasha Goforth, transfer from Oregon State.
Which I was listening to an interview, he says he considers her almost as a freshman. And so
she classifies herself as a freshman. It's hard to tell now.
It's so hard to tell. When you're trying to do roster and you're looking at stuff, you're like, have they been here? You got to go down to see.
Yeah.
And you have Ramirez, she was doing an interview saying, this is her 6th season.
Yeah.
And, she feels like she's a leader on the court, that she has to be that verbal leader, not just by showing things, but also by speaking and getting players in the right position, because she's playing with younger players right now. But yeah, it's just real confusing when you look. You don't know what year someone actually is sometimes.
Coach Neighbors said Ramirez is more than a leader as Arkansas turns it over. She's more of a mentor to these players right now. It'll be her senior night against Kentucky. And Coach Neighbors wants to get the 23rd largest crowd for number 23. So get just south of 7,000 for her senior night against Kentucky. That's on Sunday.
And you see Rimdahl, she almost let it fly again, making them play up on her. See Florida trying to get her open, running her on some baseline screens, but her ability to read the play. She wasn't open for the 3. Initially, that's what they wanted to get her. They tried to get her 2 threes in that possession, but she is so good offensively that she has a drive to the basket. Her ceiling's really high. She's a freshman as well that I think Florida looking to see a lot from her and a lot of production from her in the next couple years as well.
First 3-point attempt from Arkansas. Rimdahl, the step around, long 2 on true. Ramirez, the Arkansas rebound. 10 attempts, just 1 from distance for the Razorbacks. Ramirez can't handle it.
And something that they don't do often is turn the ball over, does Arkansas. They only average about 10, 11 turnovers per game. You see a drive to the basket, her ability to just get the defense on her back. That's what she does. She has a quick first step, and the reason she has that first step is because they have to suck so high up because she's such a three-point threat that when she drives, the defense is on her back.
Right now, Alana Eaton marking her. Smith an early 5, along with Rimdahl, both with 5, lead the way. Rickards now with 10. Tonders a 3. Hit her first career tray against Auburn. Said why not?
I was going to say, she hit one last time. She's feeling a lot of confidence from behind the three-point arc now.
At just her 10th career attempt. Ramirez just trying to find space. They blitz her with a double. And didn't even see to our left. There is a Razorback that's hurt. As Mike Neighbors giving it to the officials right now, not stopping play as Alana Eaton was shaken up. And
I don't think anybody saw her.
Not
she
sure
kind of stopped behind the play.
And Mike Neighbors is really fired up as Eaton heads towards the end of the bench and towards the tunnel. See what happened here with Eaton. It was some contact, inadvertent contact with Christina Moore and Rimdahl as
Looks
well.
like she kind of got her knee or ankle maybe coming down as well.
And Arkansas has really dealt with injuries all year long. We have not seen Michaela Daniels yet, their starting point guard. As Langerman a tray. On their second attempt, they knock down a 3, and that is Sasha Goforth on the triple. Smith trying to find the response and rebound for Spencer.
And immediately Arkansas looks to push the ball up the floor, not settling for the 3, going coast to coast, didn't touch anybody's hands. They like to push the ball, Kyle.
Both teams running early. Broughton travel.
Almost too quick sometimes is Zippy Broughton. There's a little hesitation, but hesitated and didn't put the ball down.
It's hard to get away with that right in front of the Arkansas bench.
Right in front of the Arkansas
right?
bench. And there's a ref, a veteran ref sitting there.
1 point game. Ramirez had it batted away by Smith. Avalanches down the lane, can't scoop and score. Smith, she's run a track meet to begin this game. Leah Weiss brings it down to the ground and lost it.
And that's what you don't want to do. That's a little bit of a freshman mistake. You want to just go right up with it because the minute you put the ball on the floor like that, you notice there were 3 Arkansas players there, and a lot of these are guard-type players, and they're going to get a hand on the ball, and that causes a lot of turnovers sometimes in post players. They want to limit that amongst a lot of contact and a lot of people down low.
Emery Ellis can't finish. Scoring drought for the Gators nearing the last 3 minutes. Post touch again for Leah Weiss. 3-second call.
And again, that's just another freshman. Got to get in, got to get out. She has the ball down low, didn't want to lose it. Got to pass back out, but forgot to step out of the lane as well.
Gators 4 turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes. As we near the final minute of the first quarter, Christina Moore comes out for the Gators. Manu Deonavene enters back in. Jersey Wolfenbarger on the floor for Arkansas. As Ellis just can't handle it. Deonavene on the run. Bounce for Weiss, who traveled.
Yeah, and Florida's going to have to take care of the basketball, Kyle. This isn't a game where you want to have a lot of high number of turnovers.
And what's interesting is you mentioned, Brittany, that Arkansas only averages about 11 turnovers per game. They're halfway there here in the first quarter. The Gators have had 7 points off those turnovers.
And that's what Florida does so well, is that they turn people over, but not only do they turn people over, they've been scoring off those turnovers, and they've outscored their opponents points off turnovers.
Smith, the bullet feed for Rickards. Rejected away by Ellis. 41.5 for the quarter.
And Arkansas, a team that averages about 4.6 blocks per game, is already sitting at 3.
Well, for Arkansas, we mentioned their injury issues. Erin Barnum's dealt with a knee issue. Michaela Daniels has dealt with an issue as well. As Manu, difficult step back with a touch.
Dirk Navin, looking like Dirk, with a little kick leg up.
We've not seen any of those players that were questionable for Arkansas quite yet come off the bench. As Langerman can't handle it, Broughton just rips it away. Daniels dealt with a leg issue after she was fallen upon against Tennessee, missed the rest of that game in what was an overtime loss in Knoxville.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes coaches want to see how the game flow is going if they want to put certain players in.
Now with one, Ricards at the horn, rattles it in, and the Gator fans on their feet.
The patience by Florida pays off. A big shot by Nina Ricards. They pass the ball around, run it down, and what a big hit by Nina Ricards. That mid-range game for her is just so pretty.
Nina Ricards, final seconds of the first, knocks it down. Florida up 5.
Absolutely, and Florida, a team who they beat ranked opponents. They didn't go just in the top 25. They jumped right into the top 20 the first time they got into the rankings, and so that just speaks volumes about this team. And the team hasn't really changed once getting into being ranked in that top 20. Top 25, they play just as hard. They don't play like they have that target on their back now. They play like they're trying to get the target off somebody else's back, and I think that's what's so big about this Florida program. And also, everybody plays their role. They know their role, and they play it well.
Take a look at the first quarter numbers. Gators 7 of 19. Interesting, Gators took twice the amount of threes than Arkansas. Arkansas passed halfway to their turnover total per game as Ricards rips the net on back-to-back jumpers, bridging the last 2 quarters. And the Gators have a game-best lead at 7. Not the way Arkansas has wanted to start this game. Another turnover. It's their 9th.
And Spencer, that's the second time she just gets it and goes straight to the hole. And that time might have gotten away with a little bit of a travel, got tripped up. They said it got hit by Florida, but then went off Arkansas, so Florida gets it back. But again, just how quick Arkansas looks to score.
They call it travel, and it definitely was a travel, Brittany, but you could see that the referee missed it initially. I think it was that first quick step that Zippy Broughton took that they
and
called
then the
her on
dragging.
earlier. And you could hear the roars from the Arkansas bench, and they were right.
And Zippy knew it afterwards, too.
They just can't seem to get the ball to Ramirez right now.
And I think that's one of Florida's focuses, is they want to limit Ramirez's touches because they know how valuable she is in the offensive set for this Arkansas team. I mean, she has been on fire as of late. 25-plus points in the last, 4 out of 5 games. And she had 14 to close out the Missouri game.
Had 30 against Auburn a few games ago. Only 4 to shoot. Goforth scoops it up and in. A bailout bucket from Sasha Goforth. And it's cut to 5. Diona Bene.
Getting almost a triple team by Arkansas when the ball goes inside for Florida.
Broughton off the window.
And when you triple team and double team down low and it gets kicked back out, you're recovering a step late. And when you're recovering a step late on Zippy Broughton, she's going to have a step on you to the basket.
Another Arkansas mishap. Ricards back the other way. Weaving through defenders. Broughton says, why not? Mike Neighbors said about Florida, they play to their strengths better than anyone in this league, and it's not close.
And that's one of the reasons why they're ranked 17th in the nation and why they continue to look to be on the climb is because everybody knows their role, and they know their role, and they play it well. They play to the strength of their role.
Meanwhile, Tati Weish picks up the blocking foul. Early minutes for the freshman. That's its first team foul of the second quarter. Faith Duke comes in. She picked up an early 2. Take a look at what the Gators have done this year and what has been a dream season under interim head coach Kelly Rae Finley. Entered the AP poll for the first time since that 15-16 season. 9 SEC wins. Earliest having done that in only 12 games. You have to go back to the 2000-2001 season, and 6-0 in league road games after that 6-point win against Auburn.
I mean, you see, Kelly, she's making a strong case for SEC Coach of the Year.
And National Coach of the
Yes,
Year.
absolutely. She just got named to the Naismith finalist list, top 15 coaches, and 4 of them are in the SEC.
Yeah, just shows how tough
Yes,
this league
it does.
is. Kim Mulkey, Dawn Staley, along with Kelly Harper of Tennessee.
And it shows you, too, in the projected, rankings in the NCAA tournament, they have SEC right now possibly having 9 teams, the highest of any conference in.
Rimdahl with 2, has to hoist, fades and fires, can't bank it in. Got her own miss and recycles the offense.
Got her own miss, and Arkansas getting away with a little jersey tug trying to get the rebound. And she was aware of the shot clock. That's a freshman who has a high basketball IQ, knows she had to get a shot off. Wasn't the greatest shot, but she got her own rebound. And as a result, Florida gets a second look and points.
Ricard's really feeling it in the mid-range, and that is her maneuver that she likes to work most, that dribble to her right to pull up. That's been lethal to start tonight and over the last few games. Up to 9. Inside, Wolfenbarger.
Arkansas with a good flow offensively. If the three's not there, they like to do a lot of motion-type running. That's where they get the layups like they just got.
12 points in the paint. 12 of their 17 have come inside the painted area. Not your normal night for the Razorbacks in the first half.
Only 3 three-point attempts for Arkansas, and Florida's sitting at 8 attempts, where they're 3 of 8 right now with that big hit by Banu.
The Gators beating the Razorbacks at their own game as Spencer accelerates inside.
But if you're Florida, you've got to get back, because you know Arkansas looks to push the ball.
Ricards, and they'll call a foul on Wolfenbarger, and yes, right now an 8-point game, and here you see Manu Deodevede for the Gators adding on another 3. Gators stroking it with confidence right now.
Yeah, hands down, man down, and the hands were down for Arkansas, so Manu said, I'm going to let it fly. And so that's a great decision by Florida. If they're going to rotate out and give you a little bit of space, you should shoot it.
And this is where, Brittany, the Gators have really excelled at the free throw line. They've shot at 77% in league play. They're top in the conference in free throw percentage.
And yet another flip from the previous seasons. In just one season, they have flipped that free throw percentage. They were known to be in the bottom, and not just the SEC, but nationally from the free throw line. And they have totally flipped that around this year. As you can see, 74% leads the SEC and 77% in SEC games. So they're stepping it up in the SEC.
Ramirez, that was clean on the step back. Amber Ramirez now with 4. That's her first field goal make in just her second attempt. Cuts this down to 8 and a travel. You can tell they're going to watch that closely on Zippy Broughton. Dee Kantner with the whistle on that far side.
Arkansas with just a nice one-on-one, dribbling it up, step back 3. Ramirez has that in her arsenal. She's going to keep the ball in her hand. She can shoot it off the bounce. She can shoot it off the catch. Florida does a good job of limiting her when she lets it go, of her getting it back. So that's why she wanted to keep it in her hands and let one fly.
Rimdahl, limited airspace, able to fade and bank it in.
The freshman emerging, driving in amongst the trees, lets it high off the glass, not afraid of the shot blocker inside.
Meanwhile, now 11 team turnovers for Arkansas, matching their average per game this year. Came in second in the country in not turning the ball over. Backdoor feed, Spencer slicing through.
Now, when you play so hard out on the three-point line because you want to deny that, you're going to get beat backdoor sometimes, and that's what happened on Florida defensively, playing man-to-man, just got beat backdoor on a backdoor cut.
Broughton, the pull-up.
And I'm not traveling this time. I'm not going to put it on the ground. I'm just going to take one in and pull up nice and smooth. Zippy Broughton's a player who's been really stepping it up for Florida. We touched upon it in the open, but you can't speak enough about how she's elevated her game in SEC play. She was averaging 9.5 points in pre-SEC play, 14.6 come SEC, and boy, is Florida lighting it up. They're looking like Arkansas from the three-point line right now.
Mike Neighbors calls a timeout. Kiki Smith, the rainbow tray goes down. 4th made.
I mean, what a flip around. I mean, look at the averages right there. I mean, making a great case to be on an all-SEC team this year.
Gators have hit their last 5 shots previous to the timeout. Both teams are shooting 50%, but the Gators have taken 8 more shots because of the Arkansas turnovers. Trying to get something going from 3. They're 1 of 3 from distance. Backdoor bounce. Ramirez went off her leg, and more of the same here in this second quarter. Talking to Coach Neighbors today, you said could be a 6-10 SEC team that makes the tournament this year. That's how good this league is.
I mean, the league is so good, so strong this year. That's why game in and game out, it's a battle. I mean, you are fighting to get a win, whether you're home or away. You're trying to protect your home court, and then on the road, you're trying to steal one away, because it is just such a hard conference to play in and to get wins. And as a result, that's one of the reasons why I think that the NCAA tournament has it with 9 teams in the SEC right now, and I think that's right.
Gators right now projected as a 7 seed. Arkansas projected as an 8 seed. That from Charlie Cream of ESPN.
Because even if you look at Auburn, who only has 1 win in the SEC, it's against South Carolina, which is a huge win because they're number 1 in the nation, the only blemish they have on their record. But they play teams tight, and they're in the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah.
Because it's just that skilled, that hard fought of each and every game.
Gators 16 points off of Arkansas turnovers tonight. Smith a corner 3.
Now Arkansas already has 14 turnovers, Kyle. And that is something that Florida looked to do, turn Arkansas over, something that they don't do often. And if they turn the ball over, they're not scoring, and they're not hitting the average of almost 80 points per game that they look to hit.
Rimdahl closed out by Eaton. Toners will try another. That time well off the mark. Second attempt from 3 tonight. Ramirez grinds in on Moore, and Ramirez goes back to the line for a second trip tonight.
Sorry, Kyle. That's something that Ramirez is really good at, is using her body to get fouls. When she drives to the basket, she uses her body and kind of goes into the defender, but goes in a way where she's going to get the blocking call, not the charge call. And that's playing a lot of basketball in the SEC. 6th season out here playing. You know how games can be reffed, and you have to change it sometimes, but she knows when she goes in, she can't lower the shoulder. And that's one of the reasons why she's one of the leading scorers, averaging 21 points in the SEC.
Yeah, played in multiple Power 5 conferences. Yeah. Started her career at TCU and then came over to Arkansas in this fun and gun style of Mike Neighbors, and she's fit right in.
Absolutely, lots of experience. She brings a lot of experience.
Of course, leads the team at just south of 16 a game. Brittany mentioned that 21 a game in SEC play.
And she's another player who's elevated her game when SEC season started.
Still have not seen Michaela Daniels yet or Aaron Barnum. They were questionable tonight. Game time decision. Moore steps inside, and they call a travel this time. Arkansas wanted a travel on the initial drive up Moore.
Yeah, they did. She put the ball down, didn't get the travel, driving in, and Arkansas doing a good job of on the drive. When Florida drives in, they're getting a lot of hands on the ball when they stop and pick it up at that SEC logo. So Florida's going to have to either continue to go, because if the drive's not there, they kind of stop right there, pivot out to trying to kick it back out. Arkansas is trying to limit that.
Should say Aaron Barnum is in right now. Number 4 for Arkansas. Yeah, Spencer lays it in. Snuck past me. She is in the game right now. I've not seen Daniels yet.
Jariah Warren for Florida has also come in, and she's a freshman who's been giving valuable minutes. When she gets in, she's really productive. She's a long, tall guard, athletic. She got some big rebounds last game out against Auburn down the stretch. She's just playing really well for Florida. Another player who knows their role and comes in and plays it well.
Good defensive possession from Arkansas. They just couldn't get it back, and Toners will lay it in.
The big, having the hands up, pays off, goes right back into her hands. A nice power dribble, no one around her. Probably the easiest layup she'll get all night.
Yeah, just an unfortunate circumstance for Goforth. Was up against the baseline, threw it to the wrong team. Nice feed inside, a block.
Oh, she was saying she was going to call a charge, and she pointed to the ground, I think, saying she was inside. Oh, changing it. Okay.
Mike Neighbors is beside himself because Kelly Ray Finley looked at Dee Kantner and said that's a charge, and then Dee just turned over her call.
Dee's a referee, she's a veteran ref. She's called big games. I think she's called a national championship game. So she knows what she's doing. I think she was pointing to the thing saying she was outside initially. And so because it looked like she was going to call that charge. And then she pointed to the ground. I thought maybe she was saying she was inside, but she was saying, and it's a good call, her heels were outside. I think they're going to review it, but her heel actually wasn't down. Her right heel wasn't down. I don't know if they're going to end up changing it or not.
It's just what rubbed Mike Neighbors the wrong way was the fact that Dee Kantner looked right at Kelly Rae Finley, who said, Dee, that's a charge. And then Dee, right after that, not necessarily that having persuaded her, but then she switched it to a charge, and Mike Neighbors lost his mind.
I thought Dee was going to call a charge initially. And she looked like she was, and then she pointed at the ground, and I think she was calling the charge because she wanted to have a video replay. And I think that's a good call because her toe's outside the line, so she's not technically on the line. It's just hovering over it. Just like if you're on the baseline and your toes are in play, but your heel's hovering over the baseline mark, you're not out of bounds. And so I think, she's been around. She's a veteran ref, made the right call, and then went to go check.
Backdoor heave, wide open is Ricards. Manu drops the dime inside. Back up to 11. Moving screen. It's been a frantic, fragmented first half for the Razorbacks. That's Spencer picks up the foul.
And it's been that way, Kyle. I think you have to attest that to Florida's defense. That's what they're known to do as of late, is they get after you defensively and try to get you off your game and set the tempo of how this game's going to be played.
Inside Del Nevede. Warren, the kick out, and the three.
Florida hot from outside, 5 for 12 right now. They have taken more threes than this Arkansas team.
They've played Arkansas basketball in the first half.
They said we can hit threes as well. If you're going to give us that three, we're going to let it fly. We're at home. We hadn't been here for a while, and we want to hear our crowd get into it.
Langerman with three. The hedge from Ricards with one. No shot gets off. That Florida bench celebrates a great defensive stand and a lot of momentum going into the locker room. Florida ends the first half on a 7-0 run, hitting their final 3 shots. Florida Gators 5 first half threes. The final one coming from the freshman Jariah Warren. Gators at home up 14. Halftime show is next. To start the third quarter, Gators with the win. This would be their 5th straight SEC victory. They're 10th in the last 11. Their only loss during that stretch to number 1 South Carolina by 12 on their home floor game, where they won the scoring margin in the final 3 quarters after being outscored 19-3 in the first.
If Florida can continue to play like they've been playing, like they're playing here tonight, and finish out the regular season, I mean, the eyes from the NCAA tournament, they focus on those last couple games because it's what you remember. It's what you see to get that ranking. I mean, I only think that they could possibly go up if they continue to play and win.
Wolfenbarger got hacked by Faye Toot. That's her early third, so see if Kelly Rae Finley heads to the bench. What's interesting, too, you look at the net rankings. Arkansas is a 24 net ranking, so they're firmly in the tournament right now.
Yeah.
The season were to end today. And the Gators, they're 44th in the net ranking, which is kind of on the borderline of being in or out of the tournament. But right now, they're a 7 seed on that 7 seed line.
And I think a lot of that, is visual. You're watching it. You're seeing how good of a team they're becoming. And so they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament with the way that they are playing and the way that they've beaten top 25 teams on a consistent manner.
Yeah, 5 top 25 wins. The only issue is, the value of that win against A&M and Kentucky has waned some with how their seasons have gone. And they had a loss in non-conference at George Mason, which was one of the worst losses that they'll have this year. Broughton tees up a 3 and rips the net.
But the way that they are playing offensively, when you watch them, they're a fun team to watch, Kyle. They do it from the 3-point line. They do it on drives to the basket. It's whatever the game is giving them that night, that's how they play. I was watching an interview that Mike Neighbors did saying, Florida's a team that, they've won games in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and there's not a lot of teams, he thinks, around the nation that can do that and change the way that they play to fit the way that they play and still win games.
Goforth from the corner. In that kind of night from distance, now 1 of 5. Smith dashes in, finds Del Nevede running the floor.
And the third quarter for Florida has been good this season to them, and that's what they are continuing to look to do here, to start off strong, continuing to play aggressive defense, even from the post position. You see Faith Dude at the top of the key getting a turnover.
Broughton patient. 17-point lead.
And 17 turnovers for Arkansas.
Ricards, Manu the rebound, shovels into traffic. Smith can't claim it. Still fighting for it, and that'll be a foul.
That's going to get a foul, and that's just not a, that's one of those passes that Manu's going to want to get back. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of heavy defense in the paint for that scoop pass down. Kind of want to get that one back if you're Manu.
The Gators, Brittany, scoring in transition. They've done it all night. Here's the Brazilian running the floor.
And Ramirez just out of position, and she plays a little bit too tight up on the ball, and Manu, no help side defense from anyone from Arkansas, drives it right in. Kiki Smith keeps the ball in her hand long enough to draw Ramirez out. And great pass, and then Arkansas backdoor cut again.
Goforth with the lay-in. Much needed basket, brought the Cyclone spin and the finish.
And with the touch around the basket, just as that's a timely spin move for Zippy Broughton. It was purposeful. It got her closer to the basket. It wasn't a useless spin move. And you can see Arkansas on the flip side trying to push the ball back in transition and get those quick looks that they're so accustomed to.
Both teams exchanging right hooks. The hezzy from Smith. Oh, can't finish it.
That was nice. They got the defense, bit it up on the hesitation. Defense sucked right into her, and she zipped right by. And that's when she's going to want to get back.
Wolfenbarger at the controls. Backdoor cut. Ramirez, rainbow floater.
But this time, Florida rotates better. They don't get the backdoor cut because Nina Ricards came off the top of the key that time. Kiki Smith played heavy denial defense, got burned backdoor because she was denying the three-point shot. But Nina Ricards comes from the top of the key, stays up straight, and caused that missed shot by Ramirez.
Meanwhile, Ricards comes out. You see Rimdahl in. Duda's taken his seat as well. Floor Tonders has come on. Kiki Smith stays out there. Smith is 4th in the league in total minutes. She doesn't get many breaks, and tonight running all over the floor trying to guard Ramirez. Wolfenbarger over the shoulder. Smith threads the needle for Zippy.
Drops the dime on the left-hand side. She also had a 3 open for Rimdahl, but goes into elects for the layup by Zippy Broughton. That's pretty offense by Florida.
Goforth, well short. Took a fortunate hop for Langerman. Easy whistle from the officials. This will go on Tonders. Wolfenbarger gets 2 shots.
Let's look at this last pass, Kyle. That was a pretty dime. You can see in transition, the eyes up, threaded it right through 2 Arkansas defenders. She sees it, she puts it ahead of her teammate, and Zippy Broughton finishes up. And the way that Florida spaces the floor, you can't see it in that segment, but Birdie Rimdahl was also behind Kiki a little bit to the left, open for a 3 if that pass hadn't have been there.
And the Gators, ever since losing Lavender Briggs in the transfer portal, the ball's zipping around a little bit. With Zippy on the floor and Kiki, and they already have 12 assists tonight.
And it's about sharing the basketball for this Florida team. They play well when they're passing the ball around and making the extra pass to find not just the good look, but the great look.
We know Arkansas can get back into a game in a flash. Right now, they need defensive stops. They were down 11 in the second half, Brittany, against Missouri their last time out, but they, at one point, had turned that into a 19-point lead in that second half.
Yeah, they're never down and out by the way that they move the basketball and the way that their ability to shoot from the three-point line. I mean, they're a team that is proficient usually from behind the arc. 42% of their shots usually come from the three-point line. They average about 9.5 makes per game from the three-point line, and Florida's just doing a good job of limiting those touches. 1 of 6 from the three-point line right now is Arkansas.
Emory Ellis, a much-needed basket for the Razorbacks. They trim this down to 16. Extra feed Ricards. Smith off the weave. Beautiful showcase of dribbling. Rimdahl well off. Ramirez closed out.
Arkansas slowing it down a little bit, trying to get people set up on an offensive set. That's rare for them.
Ramirez trying to lean in again, expertly trying to get that whistle. That time didn't get it. Hands flailing in frustration for Ramirez in what has been a frustrating night for Arkansas, trailing by 16 on the road. Gators a 16-point lead past the midway mark in the third quarter. Good crowd here tonight at Exactech Arena. We mentioned it in the last segment. They can get back fairly quickly, and I'm sure that's a shared sentiment in that Gator huddle. And it starts with the Wolfenbarger floater.
That was a nice play from underneath out of bounds. She caught that in the air, didn't come down, had contact with hands high from Florida and finished. This is a team in Arkansas, they don't go away. So Florida cannot get complacent offensively or defensively because they have proved that they will come back on teams. And they do it in the fashion of, like we just saw, layups, but also from the three-point line. In that Missouri game, they were 40% from the three-point line. They went 8 of 20. And so that's how they get back into games real quick.
They've had 10 games this year with at least 10 three-point makes, just one tonight. Spencer. Ellis is open. Will take it. Goforth. Got fouled.
And that's something that they're also really good at, is getting to the free throw line, and something that they have not done very often this game. Really not a lot of free throws between both teams. Florida hasn't been to the line. They're 4 for 4, and they shoot the ball really well from the free throw line. They haven't gotten there, but they haven't really needed to get there because they've been shooting the ball so well. It'll be interesting to see if Arkansas, down the stretch of this game, gets to the line a little bit more than they did the first half.
Meanwhile, Kelly Rae Finley bringing back in Kiki Smith. You see Mike Neighbors went to a Final Four at Washington. Decided to take the job here at Arkansas to bring them back to the national conversation. That's exactly what he has done. He's brought Arkansas to an NCAA tournament last year, their first since 2015. Had given the Razorbacks back-to-back winning seasons in the league for the first time since joining the league, as Smith along two.
And just inside the arc, she's really smooth with that just pull up, whether it's outside the arc but inside the arc. She is very consistent.
Back to 16. This will be a hand check foul on Smith. It'll be interesting to see when, those awards come out for the SEC where Kiki Smith lands on some of those recognitions from the league.
She's going to have to land somewhere, that's for sure. I mean, she should, it's like being that first team All-SEC with the way that she has played and carried this team the entire season.
It kind of fell under the radar because of, Florida just simply wasn't winning games in previous years. And, Florida without Kiki Smith, who knows where they would be right now. This is a great team, but, the mold of it all starts with Kiki Smith.
But you make a good point. She's on a team that is now ranked nationally, 17th and on the rise. And so when that happens, you're leading a team like that, you deserve some of those accolades that she should get come the end of the season. You can see 3rd in the SEC in steals, 4th in assists, double-figure scoring. She's consistent with what she does. She leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists.
102nd consecutive start tonight for number 1.
So not only that, she's durable. And so that speaks volumes as well in the SEC.
Tati Weiss checks in. Rimdahl watched by Ramirez. Shot clock waning down. Cannot get that one to go. Somehow got that to the rim.
But she gets in there amongst the trees and gets shots off cleanly.
Spencer downhill, Wolfenbarger. Moore snatches in the rebound. The Australian coast to coast. Can't get it to go, but we'll get 2 shots.
And she decides she's going to take it from one end to the other because she has a defense on her back, a lane to the basket, and finds herself at the free throw line. She had Arkansas sneaking up behind her. She felt them and knew she needed to go to the basket. From the rebound, you can see Christina Moore getting position on that back side. It tips out. She sneaks it up, Arkansas is trailing her. She can see she doesn't really have anyone to pass it to because she was out in the front of the fray. And so she was going to go from coast to coast that entire time.
Misses the first free throw. One more coming here for Moore. And splits a pair. Moore, a career high against Auburn on a Monday night, had 15 points.
And she has been a player in Christina Moore who does whatever her team needs at any given time. There's been games where she hasn't gotten many minutes, but when she is called upon, she plays so well, does what she needs to do, boxes out bigger players. A lot of her career at Florida, she's kind of played out of position. She's had to play in the post a lot of the time against bigger players, and she's up to every task and not complaining about it, just going in there and doing what her team has asked of her.
Has really played out of position since coming to Florida, and the same for Manu Deodevede, who comes in. Smith off the curl. Gators now up 19 here at home.
And Florida with that shot, Kiki Smith, 15 points on 5 of 12 shooting. They have 3 players in double figures right now, and then you have Manu at 9 and Rimdahl at 7 trying to sneak into that double figure scoring. While Arkansas with 2 players in double figures.
Spencer is going to be a really good guard.
Yes, she is.
Just her freshman season. Manu backs in to the corner, Broughton. Gators fighting after every loose ball. It's this team's identity. Smith, big strides. Manu cleans it up. The Gators would not be denied.
And Kyle, that's about wanting it more than the other team right now. They're hitting the offensive boards, rebounding a lot. Rebounding is a lot about want to. What's your desire to go get the ball, to position yourself, to fight for it? Weish comes in and she's tipping the ball around. She's not afraid to be physical down low. And so when she comes in, she does that for Florida.
Samara Spencer, another bucket, 14 points tonight, 2 in double figures, go forth with 10. Spencer this year's had 4 SEC Freshman of the Week. Manu will get 2.
Spencer, a player for Arkansas who has a really bright future, and they're really happy about what they see with her, and Mike Neighbors really wants to see a lot of what she can do later on. But you see on the drive to the basket, Manu positioning herself, Langerman just coming over, and that's a clear foul because they're out of position. That's 2 points if you don't come over and foul. And Manu playing really well as of late.
First start since January 6th tonight. No Jordan Merritt, out due to coach's decision. Tonight her 6th game in double figures this year.
And another player who comes in and does whatever is asked of her. Whatever minutes she's getting, she's going to make the most of them. And she's going to do the best for her team.
Inside the final minute, third quarter. Gators lost the meeting last year with the Razorbacks. Game was in the 80s. That was the night Lavender Briggs had 41. It was a battle between Briggs and Chelsea Dungy that night. Florida, all time in this series, 29 wins to 12 losses. Have lost 3 of the last 4 in this series. About a 9-second differential. Only 5 to shoot.
What a pass.
Touch pass inside. Tati Weish couldn't finish. Ramirez try to get the final shot for the Razorbacks. 5 to go.
She's not passing that up.
Ramirez circles, does give it up. Barnum, a block with .3 to go for the quarter.
Surprising. I was surprised she was giving that up. I thought she was going to have a little pull-up 3 to go. Nice decision by her to drive in. The defense stayed with Ramirez, and as a result, she finds her post player rolling to the basket and gets a foul. That's a body foul by Manu, kind of not getting enough space for her to come down.
Arkansas, Brittany, has missed 7 free throws tonight, 8 of 15 from the line. Barnum, who was questionable with that knee injury, could have played against Missouri, but Mike Neighbors decided to play more of Emory Ellis. That brings us to a close of the third quarter. Right now, the Gators cruising with an 18-point lead, 10 minutes away from their 20th win of the year. Fourth quarter is next.
It's all over, but Arkansas kind of slowed down a little bit with their turnovers in the third quarter.
Gators have taken 13 more shots tonight, have taken 51 shots to just 38 for Arkansas.
In a team in Arkansas that averages about 60 plus, I think it's like 64 shots per game.
And there's a double dribble before the charge that would have been called, and Broughton said, tough night when it comes to turnovers. That's her 5th in double figures tonight.
She's gotten called with that travel a couple times early in this game for Florida, not putting the ball down a little bit too quick.
Had 18 the other night, about 50 miles away from her hometown of Wetumpka, Alabama at Auburn. Gators had to close that one out in the 4th quarter. Somewhat of a nail-biter. But Auburn's been used to that this year. Gators won 83-77. Spencer fakes the handoff. Can't finish. De Oliveira, the contorting rebound.
We're electing to burn some of the clock, run some offense down. Didn't like the first initial look. Kiki Smith could have taken it, but decided not to. Florida going to use some clock here, Kyle.
Langerman locked up with Smith at 3. Arkansas had a big 4th quarter against Missouri at 26 points in the Show Me State. Getting set for an exhaustive stretch. We'll play on Sunday, then play on Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday of next week. Spencer, De Oliveira, a charge.
In position, way out of the charge circle. An easy call for D on the sideline to make it that time. No question about that charge.
Manu is just such a difference maker for this team defensively. We talked to Kelly the other day and how smart that she guards.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the high basketball IQ, putting yourself in the right position. When you can take charges, you got to be able to read not only your defender, but other players' defender as well, because a lot of time charges come off the ball on help side, and so you have to time when you're going over to take that charge, to get in position, and be willing to sacrifice your body, and that's what she does.
Stuck in Brazil during the COVID season last year. Numerous canceled visa appointments. Get back in the country. Didn't come back till June of this past year. Broughton long 2. Offensive rebound, no. Spencer's got it. Long lead ahead, Wolfenbarger travel.
And that's getting back defensively by Florida. You want to get back, and you might not get in great position, but Manu, who else gets there, hands straight up, and cause that turnover.
Season high in turnovers tonight for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Manu on the pick and roll, swatted out by Barnum. D. Kantner sends that fist skyward, calling a foul. Well, 19 turnovers, a new season high for Arkansas tonight.
Arkansas foul on number 4, Aaron Barnum.
Meanwhile, Barnum comes out, Goforth comes in. That was the second on Aaron Barnum.
At the line for the Gators, number 11, Manu de Oliveira. She'll shoot 2.
It's an Arkansas team playing well. They had won 5 of their last 7 games entering tonight. Played Tennessee real tough. Lost in overtime in Knoxville. That was the game they lost Michaela Daniels for the bulk of that game. She still has not returned. She was suited up tonight on the bench. Had her first practices with contact this week. So they're really going to take their time with her. Again, they have a rough stretch coming up schedule-wise. Goforth able to score.
Sasha Goforth.
Now Arkansas been playing well, ran into a really hot Florida team tonight that continued to play the way that they have played, with the confidence that they're playing with, and had some hot hands. But again, Arkansas team that doesn't go away, so Florida's going to have to continue to play.
Gators controlling the tempo tonight. Played efficient basketball, have defended well, have done just about everything right tonight. 7 minutes away from their 5th straight league win as Broughton goes down. And do they call a foul here on Broughton as she kind of shoved away the defender? As we do have an official timeout, Broughton a little shaken up as she slipped down to the ground. Gators up 17, final 6:57 when we return. Albert's having some fun. here in the Swamp. What's not to love for the Gator fans tonight, up 17. T-shirt toss, fans, you don't get crazier than when there's a T-shirt toss. You turn into a different human being. Here's the double-figure scores tonight for the Florida Gators. It has been balanced scoring for another game for Kelly Rae Finley's unit, again led by Kiki Smith with 16 points. How about Manu tonight with 15?
And all of those are efficient shooting, Kyle. It's good percentages from all the players that are scoring. And if Rimdal would have hit that, she'd have been in double figures as well.
Gators trying to attack the glass. Goes out. Will be Arkansas basketball. Kelly Rae Finley on the watch list for Naismith Coach of the Year continues to make her case in what has been, again, you say it without hyperbole, the best, or at least one of the best stories in women's college basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it being one of the best, if not the best, because it's just been such a turnaround season, and especially once SEC play started, it's just this team has reached another level.
This team has responded to Kelly's leadership this year.
Always getting the best out of each player, and I think that's what's important is they're playing to their strengths, and we talked about that earlier, and that's right there. Jariah Warren coming in, maybe not getting a lot of minutes early in the season, but in the SEC, she's come in and she's made big shots. She's got big rebounds, and maybe not a lot of minutes, but she's making the most out of each one. And Kelly's doing a great job of getting the most out of every player.
Ramirez is elite at that little pull-up, kind of that awkward delivery.
It is an awkward delivery, yes.
Off the screen.
It's not your conventional delivery.
A little extra euro from Rimdal from Denmark.
In Denmark, maybe they got that little extra euro. She should know it best, right?
That's right.
And down the stretch for Florida, they've got to take care of the basketball. They've done a good job of that, but you don't want to get sloppy. You want to start strong and you want to finish strong. Because a lot of times that leads into how you play the next game sometimes.
Spencer will hoist. Can hit. Struggles continue from three. Goforth the rebound. Lays it in. Good night for Sasha Goforth.
Yeah.
Transfer from Oregon State. She's had to really deal with the stylistic change in how she played at Oregon State to how they play here at Arkansas. Almost a complete 180 in the system.
And Arkansas has gone into, they're going to call a moving screen on Manu. But Arkansas, they were a little bit quiet, and now they have 4 players in double figures.
We'll step aside. Final media timeout. Gators lead at 15. Gators a 69-54 lead, 4:59 away from their 5th straight SEC win. Arkansas trying to create a comeback here in the 4th quarter. There's assistant coach Julie Plank, Brittany Davis, in her first season with the Gators, and 26-year coaching veteran, was a former player under Tara Vanderveer at Ohio State, coached with her at Stanford, coached in the WNBA. She is a critical piece to this coaching staff and a big part to this turnaround for Florida.
Yes, she is. She brings a ton of experience. She's great at scouting. She knows what she is doing. She can change things on the fly because she has seen so much basketball, and the players have really responded to how she's doing and how she is coaching them and getting them to do things in-game and be able to change in-game scenarios, and that's huge.
Tonder's getting tied up. Alternate arrow goes to Arkansas, and it's only a 13-point game right now. 4.5 minutes to go.
There's a lot of basketball left.
A lot of basketball left.
What's interesting is Mike Neighbors has been sitting down a lot, and assistant coach has been standing up and coaching.
Is that Todd Schaefer right now is standing up, associate head coach in his 5th year with Mike Neighbors at Arkansas, doing a lot of the coaching right now here in this quarter.
And like you said, this is a team in Arkansas who they can score, and they can score quick, and they can do it from the three-point line. They haven't shot well from the three-point line, but they can.
Ramirez was waiting for it from Spencer, didn't offer it up. Spencer will drive in, hook it home, and it's down to 11 right now. Silence right now in Exact Tech Arena. 8-0 Arkansas run.
Now Florida needs a bucket, and they need it fairly quick in this offensive segment. If not, I think you might see a timeout being called fairly soon.
Diona Vede swirls off. Rebound to Wolfenbarger.
And see a timeout anyway. There you go.
Timeout, Arkansas.
A chance to cut this inside double figures with 3:37 left.
Full timeout.
A game that was once a 19-point lead. Since then, Arkansas scored the last 8.
18 going into the fourth quarter, Kyle. And so Florida becoming a little bit, I think, complacent offensively, slowing it down maybe a little bit too much, because what got them going was defense into offense, turnovers, steals into points. And so I would expect Florida to come out and maybe be a little bit more aggressive defensively, try to get a turnover here out of this timeout, and then kind of push the ball, get a good look offensively.
You still see Mike Neighbors outside the huddle right now.
That's
Todd
interesting,
Schaefer
yeah.
running the huddle. You see Kelly Ray Finley with the board there inside the huddle. You look at this entire staff. We highlighted Julie Plank, but it's Julian Acebe's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Julian. Erica Lang Montgomery, former head coach at Flagler. And Serena Lamar, who is one of the great Dobos
Absolutely.
in the country.
Absolutely, a veteran to the program as well.
Gators trying to close this one out. Arkansas not going down easily here on the road, and they have struggled on the road. Only 2 SEC road wins this year. One of them coming at Missouri their last time out.
And they would like to get one tonight. They would like to say they came back from 19 down to beat a red-hot Florida team on the road, and Florida's going to try to do everything they can to not let that happen. Right here, if you're Florida, it's time for you to go on a run. Arkansas went on a run, and that's what basketball is, a game of runs, but how do you respond to them?
Right now it's Spencer, Goforth, Langerman, Wolfenbarger, and Ramirez. Spencer off the spin, shovels it inside. Goforth can't finish. It will be Gator ball, and the Arkansas bench beside themselves thought that it was last touch Florida.
Good play coming out of the timeout. A drive to the basket and then a backside flash. Just weren't able to connect and finish.
Gators need a basket. Ricards can't provide. Tonders the rebound and the reset to Smith. Cards contorts in midair. Ball spits to the corner and goes out. Gators still have not scored in the last 3+ minutes.
It's been a bit of a drought offensively for Florida. They'd really like to take a sigh of relief and get a stop and a score.
Crowd right now to lull.
The crowd would like to get back into it.
Langerman goes to work on Broughton. Zipping in, and Zippy made the nice defensive play. Todd Schaefer, the associate head coach, wanted a whistle. Gators have not scored in the last 3.5. Arkansas still on this 8-0 run. Once down 19.
And Florida sits with just 6 points here in the fourth quarter. They had previous quarters of 25 and 20 in the second and third quarter.
Broughton knifing through, got denied by Wolfenbarger. Ramirez bounce for Spencer, glides to the cup. And it's a 10-0 Arkansas run. Timeout. Things have gotten interesting here in Gainesville.
Yeah, they have a 9-point game with 2 minutes left. And interesting, too, that Arkansas is the one calling these timeouts. You can see the steal off of it, and then Ramirez pushing the ball in transition. Nice pass through 2 Florida defenders. Florida's going to have to get back defensively. This is a team in Arkansas that scores and scores quick. They've flipped the script on Florida right now. They've gotten some steals and turned those into offense. And now they have 13 points off of Florida's turnovers.
Arkansas used a 30-second timeout. Now you see the freshmen that have made a big impact for Mike Neighbors. He said, I'm not going to carry 22 on my roster. He had some seniors right now that are playing at other Power 5 schools that could have come back to this roster, but he promised these freshmen playing time. Spencer and Wolfenbarger have had outstanding starts to their careers. Spencer with 18 tonight. He's at 20 in the last 2, and that's an offensive foul on Ricards.
And if you're Florida, this is a big stance for you on defense right now. A big momentum swing. If Arkansas scores right now, it's a different ball game with 2 minutes left. If you're Florida, you want to get to, and you need to get a defensive stop.
Nice take from Spencer. Now glides inside.
That's going to be a
and
charge. Charge given, charge taken by Florida. And who takes it but Manu? And I think that's her second or third taken charge here tonight.
Such a difference maker.
And Florida needed a stop, and Manu stepped up and got one.
Gators a rough stretch, have not scored in the last 4.5 minutes as Faith Dute has come back on.
And this is where if you're Florida, you kind of need maybe Kiki Smith to take over a little bit down this stretch.
Approaching 90 seconds to go. Smith, the step back. Rebound, Ramirez. Need a bucket quick. Ramirez from the logo. Can't get it to go.
I talked about it in the open. She'd shoot it from the logo, and she she proves me right.
But that is her range. If you've not watched Amber Ramirez, that is fairly normal for her.
That's not an out-of-characteristic three-point shot for her in a game. I'm just surprised it's taken this long for us to see it.
You saw that graphic on the bug on the bottom of your screen, but Arkansas averaging 9 threes per game, just 1 of 13 as a team tonight. Ramirez 0 of 2, has only taken 2 threes tonight. Came in shooting it 47% from 3 in SEC play. Call a foul here. That's the 5th.
Just a minute left. Arkansas needed to get the ball back. I don't know that Mike Neighbors wanted a foul in that situation, but they got one and sent Kiki Smith to the line. Big free throws for Florida.
Gators, I'm sure, like their chances at the free throw line. Again, best free throw percentage group in the SEC. And it's Smith to do the honors. Gators cracked 70 tonight. There you see the line for Smith, 17, 7, and 5. 1 of 2. 10-point deficit. Spencer, a bullet heave. Langerman tried to save and does to Ramirez. We'll call a hand check foul here. That's the 3rd team foul.
And not really a bad foul. If you're Florida and you get a foul, it's not a shooting foul, and Ramirez, it gets the ball out of her hands.
Goforth races inside, a early bucket. They needed it, and Goforth provides.
And Goforth has been a difference maker for this Arkansas team, really stepping up. 16 points, 7 of 12 shooting from the field today.
Arkansas calls a 30-second timeout. Goforth's bucket making it a 12-1 run. Gators have only scored 7 points in this quarter, and Goforth with 16 tonight.
Yeah, if you're Florida, this isn't the quarter that you want to kind of end on, or you kind of want to just get through it, learn from it, and move on. Because 7 points, they had 18 in the first, 25 in the second, 20 in the third, and now they're sitting at 7 right now. And, you know, if you're Florida, you're glad you had that 18-point lead going in.
These two teams, as Florida looks like they're going to take a 30-second timeout. Could see both of these teams in the NCAA tournament being 2 of maybe 8 or 9 teams that will make the big dance come March. Gators trying to up their net ranking right now, 44. Arkansas nestled at 24. You take a look at what's ahead and what is going to be the craziest environment this Florida team will play in front of on Sunday. They've already sold 12,000 tickets against LSU on the road. Then at Vanderbilt and home against Missouri. That'll be senior day for the Gators. So those are the final 3 games. Last ranked opponent in that group is LSU. And we mentioned for Arkansas, Brittany, that they have a lot of games coming up. And if you count the SEC tournament, they could have the possibility of playing something along the lines of 10 games in 20 days. Mike Neighbors was telling me earlier today, you know, Kentucky on Sunday, Ole Miss on Tuesday, then you still have a Thursday, Sunday
game
to end the season.
And there's a lot of basketball left that they're going to be playing. And I was going to say, the SEC tournament, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. These teams are going to battle it out, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, who comes out. But I think there's going to be a lot of close games in the SEC tournament with the way that teams have been playing lately.
I believe Kiki Smith, did they call a foul? Kiki Smith was barking for a timeout. Have to decide. Kesha Thompson over there right now talking with Dee Kantner and Luis Gonzalez. Kiki Smith was trapped. I believe she audibly could hear her say timeout, timeout. I'm not sure if the officials called a foul or not. Dee Kantner will head to the monitor for the second time tonight. 43.6 to go. Take another look at it. Right now they're talking to Mike Neighbors.
Can see getting pressured in the corner. Nowhere to go.
Gators.
Couldn't see what was going on.
Gators do have 2 timeouts remaining. Florida just 43.6 away from a 5th straight league win. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Coach Neighbors, he said, you know, yeah, I didn't think Florida was going to be 3rd or 4th in the league, which is what they are now, but he says, I picked them a lot higher than most coaches around the league in their preseason poll.
Yeah, and it's the respect that they're gaining right now is they're saying, hey, we're here to play. And that's, we're not a fluke of winning, you know, one top 10 team. They've beaten 5 top 10 teams, and they're coming in, and they had a 19-point lead. They let that slip away a little bit here, but they've been playing and winning in convincing style.
Coach Neighbors coming back to his alma mater, a graduate 1993 class. Born and raised in Greenwood, Arkansas, 1 hour from Fayetteville. Coming back home after so much success, coaching Kelsey Plum at Washington, a Final Four team in 2015-16.
We are really looking at this, Kyle.
You're still looking at the monitor right now. It's certainly been a reclamation for Arkansas. Last 2 years, tied for 5th, tied for 3rd. His first 2 years, they were near the lower 3rd of the league, so he's turned it around quickly in Fayetteville. He's done an incredible job bringing in the players that fit his style.
Yep. And I think that's important. He brings the players in of the style that he likes to coach and that are successful in his style of coaching.
I think they're watching a new Netflix special. Documentary. Yeah.
And you know, Florida using this as a timeout, staying in the huddle. They went out, they came back in it. Kelly called them back over to talk a little bit. I mean, the players look like they're ready to go, but the decision has not been made yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what we're...
Might be watching a 30 for 30 or... See the 2 head coaches. There's Julian Asibe. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Julian. Assistant in his 2nd year with the Florida Gators.
What's the call on the floor?
See, we're still, right now it's timeout Florida. That was the official call.
Okay.
Gators were granted, I believe it was a timeout. Again, I'm not sure because the Gators had used a timeout prior to that.
They're going to say Florida ball.
It is Florida ball. So was there a timeout granted? Was there a foul called?
They decided not to inform over here.
Well, they should go into the
There
microphone.
we go, right there.
After review, the call is confirmed. It is pink ball, 44.8 on the game clock, 26 on the shot clock.
Appreciate D, but
appreciate it.
Still really don't know what happened there.
But efficient with the call, staying with it.
Veteran official, one of the best in the country,
Yes.
Dee Kantner. Brought in inbounds, and Arkansas will foul, so this will go to the free throw line.
And that's the play that Florida likes to run out of bounds plays when the game's on the line. They want to get it to Zippy Broughton, who can fly around with some fast speed once she catches it and then step to the line, where she's about an 80%, 85% free throw shooter right now. 82%.
Broughton, a 9th straight game in double figures tonight. 10 of her last 11. This is her 11th straight start. Again, this is a win for the Gators. No Jordan Merritt out due to coach's decision, so out one of their best players tonight.
And Zippy Broughton 7 to the line, knocking down both free throws for this Florida team.
Goforth got fouled by Faith Dute.
And 2 Florida players went with Ramirez into the corner, and Goforth kind of slipped to the basket. So you can see Faith Dute went over with another Arkansas player, so they're not getting a 3, and Goforth just slips to the basket, and then an easy foul call on that drive.
Emery Ellis comes in.
She'll shoot 2.
See the combination of Kelly Rae Finley and Kiki Smith. Gators have really had to grind this out in the fourth quarter. Only 9 points in this fourth.
And it's about fighting. Sometimes when the shots aren't falling in the fourth, the game's kind of changed the tide. It's about figuring out a way to just get that win as Florida calls a timeout to be able to advance it up into their half of the court.
And one of their 2 remaining timeouts, Gators will get to advance inside the final minute. Well, moving forward now, Brittany Davis, the Gators, if they can hold on, that sets up. You'll see what LSU is doing right now in their game against Mississippi State. But if both teams hold serve, a pair of 3-loss teams playing on the Bayou on Sunday for a chance to claim outright that 3rd spot in the league. And also you got to look at what Tennessee is doing. They have 2 losses. If they somehow lose to Alabama tonight and the Gators win, the Gators would claim the 2nd spot with a head-to-head win over Tennessee.
And Tennessee still plays South Carolina though, don't they?
They do on Sunday.
So that's another one to be watching. That'll be a fun game as well.
Broughton gets fouled by Langerman with 32.7 to go.
Yeah, the game that Florida has against LSU on Sunday should be a real fun one. Tune into that one because I think you're going to see some fun basketball in a great environment.
LSU will play Mississippi State coming up at 8:30 Eastern. Tennessee trailing at the half against Alabama by 9. One more coming from Zippy Broughton, chance to bring this back to 10. 15 tonight for number 4. Final 30 seconds. Spencer can't get it to go, will get fouled, and this last minute might take a century.
The way that this game's going right now, we'll be here for a little while longer. You see Spencer, she's just speeding to the basket to try to either get a layup or a foul.
3rd foul on Nina Ricards.
She'll shoot 2 shots.
Gators in this quarter, 7 of their 11 points have come at the free throw line. They still haven't had a field goal make in the last 5:47.
It's a little bit of a drought for Florida in the fourth quarter.
Spencer misses both. Did somebody leave early?
They're going to get another.
I think Broughton or Duke might have left early, so Spencer will get another chance at the second. Gators do have 1 timeout remaining. No more timeouts left for Arkansas. As you see Ashlyn Sage come in for her first minutes, native of Weatherford, Oklahoma. And they'll foul right away, so Sage comes in, essentially give that foul to Kiki Smith.
So the flow of the game in the last about 2 minutes, minute and a half, has become just free throw shooting.
Yeah. With a review sprinkled in every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the other scores, we alluded to it. Alabama leading Tennessee in Tuscaloosa by 9 at the half. Georgia up 11. They really need that game to the Bulldogs. Yeah. Vanderbilt and Kentucky battling it out. And then Auburn trailing against number 1 South Carolina. And what is going to be Sunday, probably 18,000 for the Gamecocks and Lady Vols.
Wow,
in that building. They're probably going to sell that out. College Game Day is going to be there for ESPN on Sunday. Game's going to be on ABC.
Big time coverage. It's great to see in women's basketball in the SEC right now. Going to get some prime time. That should be a really fun game as well.
Wolfenbarger, the bucket, trims this down to 9, and Mike Neighbors says, let's call off the Dogs. Final seconds wane away. Gators led for over 36 minutes. Standing O from Gator Nation. The Florida Gators, their 5th straight league win. Now 10-3 in the SEC. and 20 wins overall, setting up a top 20 showdown and a battle on the Bayou with LSU on Sunday.
Florida came in hot in this game. They shot the ball well from start, not really to finish, but they finished out strong. They had an 18-point lead going into the fourth quarter, which really helped them be able to finish this game out with a win, and it's about the fight. Arkansas had a nice fight in the fourth quarter to try to come back, but Florida was able to hold them off, and they held them off with a great team win, Kyle.
Fifth straight SEC win for the Florida Gators. We'll step aside when we return. We'll have head coach Kelly Ray Finley. That's next on the SEC Network.